to hear some kind of guarded support from the Green Party. I'm not quite sure where Labour landed with their speech. I think my concern is what's going to happen here is, look, I'm not a fan of much fan of gambling, and as if you listen, that's where we're getting to. With as the last member said, the rapid pace of change with online gambling. It is deregulated, it's all run from overseas, listed off a whole bunch of things that they're concerned about. That's the whole point of this bill, though. The whole point is there is no regulation. We should have some. There are no rules that say you should ascertain the identification of that person or that they're 18. Maybe we should have some. There is no money coming in to get channeled back into the harm that can come from gambling. We should do that. And that's what this bill does. And if members opposite actually bother to read it, they might be more engaged in the process. So I'm commending this bill. Let's take it to select committee. Let's do that. And let's actually bring in some regulation to temper this rather than just fighting based on some kind of ideology. Jeremy.
Okay. Now, I will reveal who had the weakest argument. It was Tim. And I, again, ran through the entire Hansard through, not ChatGPT, through DeepSeek, and it gave the weakest argument award to Tim. So congratulations, Tim. You had the weakest argument.
Not surprises there. I mean, that was kind of obvious who had the weakest argument.
It's like, we need regulations for 18-year-olds or anyone that stop minors from playing video games without understanding that, bro, you do realise that minors can still participate in gambling even if this legislation passes because we have loot boxes in video games and we have other predatory mechanisms in video games that can, that follow gambling principles.
I know. How crazy.
Plus the licensed agencies can now do advertising and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. No, just do another one is under 18 rank, was it slides NZ, see if that brings in the images. If there now I remember being taught this in ATC, that when someone was under the age of 18, so you can join the military in New Zealand, I think, at age 17.
Yep.
You can't be deployed overseas until you're 18, but you can join the military at 17. I actually had a college friend who actually did do that. And that's the reason why he was racing through his driver's licenses as quick as possible, because he wanted to drive the tanks. But people who are under the age of 18 have a particular thing on their rank, on their rank slides, so they can't get into the bar on the Defence Force base. And I wonder, is he thinking that sort of thing exists when it comes to online gambling, using the same method that Defence Force bars have to stop the young 17-year-olds getting into the bar and getting drunk?
Well, from what I understand, it's not specified what the verification system is. It's going to be left up to the secretary to decide what's appropriate, and that could be as weak as just self-identification. You could have. You get a little box that says, "Are you over the age of 18? Please tick yes to confirm."
And
it could be as weak as that.
And that will be whether the industry actually, whether there's allowance to get into the database. Now, I definitely know in Lotto, in order to buy scratchies, online scratchies, you have to enter either your driver's license number or your passport number.
Yep.
I'm not sure about 18 plus card. That's the one thing I don't know, because on my Lotto account, my one has my driver's license number. And that's just what it is. But when so will that access to that database be available? Now, I know this is on a slight tangent from online gambling, but Bruce Flavin with his business had that problem when there was an update in alcohol law. Mm-hmm. And the local community alcohol person, Graham Jarvis from the Levin Police Station, was like, how to sit there and do that was, how do you verify that information is actually for an online sale? I think. Okay, you're sending me something of what was on there.
Yeah, no, I was just
Oh,
highlighting that under the legislation, license
Yeah.
holders to be required
So-
to use an age and identification verification system acceptable to the secretary. So
Yeah, and I'll probably say the
yeah.
latest comment that's actually been put on there is probably from Stacey, because Stacey used to do Lotto. That's just popped up on the Ipsum ballot chat. Now Bruce was being given a hard time by the police on how do you verify someone's over the age of 18, because at the point when Bruce set up the website, the only way you could buy things online was by credit cards, because debit cards equivalents didn't exist. And then debit cards obviously came in, and then they became very mainstreamed, and we hit that point. But there was no way that Bruce could have the system to verify whether someone's driver's license number or passport number is valid if he had no access to a database that can go yay or nay. He even asked the bank if there was the option of whether the bank was it accept or reject the transaction based on the name. And there's something in the Privacy Act that does not actually allow a current merchant of a banking facility to confirm whether someone is over the age of 18 or not for providers selling restricted products like alcohol, tobacco, cigarettes, and gambling.
Well, everything you just stated there would fall under the secretary. So
Yeah.
they would be the determiner of what would be the appropriate way to go about
And
getting the information.
making that database access available. That's the thing. It's actually having the tool, having that available, having the facility available, or the portal brought into law that basically states you have to use this tool, but the tool verification must be made available for the merchant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a bit of a 2-point. You must use this, but we must make it available, sort of thing. Which Bruce ended up having to do a tick box exercise in order to comply, because that was all that was available as an option for him at the time. Which that would have been back in 2012.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and it was literally when the new alcohol reform bill was coming in. So it's under that new piece of legislation. Yeah. Let's get on to Jamie Arbuckle.